Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here to talk to you about building a seamless omni-channel experience. So I thought I'd just give a little bit of background so you know the perspective that we're coming from. At DBSI, we are a design build firm, but we look at branch transformation in three critical areas. First, obviously, is the physical space, so the design build element of that. But secondly, there's technology that overlays the experience that institutions are trying to create. And then finally, that third and most important piece, and often forgotten, is people and process. And so we see a lot of institutions that will work with local architects, work with technology partners, and do a good job coming up with a design and those things, and then they often miss that people and process side of it. So they have this beautiful location with this great technology, and then they're looking to take their existing staff and just kind of push them into this space, crossing their fingers and hoping for the best. And that is not a recipe for success. So what we're going to talk about today is really how we're uniquely positioned to bring these three elements into your branch transformation efforts and talk about how that happened with Synovus. And so without further ado, I'd like to invite Carla Trombly, Senior Vice President of Branch and ATM Optimization, to the stage. She's been instrumental. Let's give her a hand. She has been instrumental in leading the charge for transformation, both looking at the digital channels and the branch and the physical channels, and bringing that to bear at Synovus. And so we're excited to have her here. Before we get excited, we want just a little bit of audience participation. So I know it's right after lunch, and so we want to get your blood pumping. I don't want anyone falling asleep. So I'm going to ask you two questions, just survey, two questions. But instead of raising your hand, I'd like you to stand if it applies to you, okay? So everyone get your chairs ready to stand. So in the last 30 days, who has used their mobile banking application to check a balance, apply for a new service or product, or that? Please stand up. Okay, excellent. You may be seated. Thank you. And your second question and final question to the survey is, in the last 30 days, how many of you have physically visited a branch location? Well, I'm expecting to have a biased crowd, so I expected more people to stand up because you've probably, for business reasons, been in a branch. But it just underscores the opportunity that we have to focus on this omni-channel experience. So moving into your institution through digital, online banking, those channels is important. But then how do we create that experience that they have online and through the mobile app in the physical space? And so that's extremely important. So if we may. So without further ado, we're ask Carla just a few questions to get her responses. But Synovus has been on a branch transformation initiative for some time. What were some of the motivations for you to create this initiative?
So I think prior to COVID, just like most banks, we saw it as a roadmap, this like long-term goal in creating a connected digital channel and in-branch channel. And then COVID happened, and it accelerated our customer behaviors. And so for us, it was really about bringing together what the customers were saying they needed, how they were shifting and how they were engaging with the bank, and also helping our team members understand their role in this new customer journey. So it was really, frankly, we were playing catch up after COVID.
Okay, wonderful. So I know that you cover a lot of different diverse markets. How has design and the technology played into keeping your brand consistent across these diverse markets that you have?
Yeah, I mean, we have different go-to-market strategies in every market. However, we want, regardless of the go-to-market strategy, when our customers come into the branch, they've made an educated choice. They know they have multiple choices in how they engage with us. And so regardless of where they are in that digital journey, we want to meet them where they are. So if they're coming in and they are very knowledgeable on all our digital channels, then we'll help them either progress, or if it's for problem solving, whatever it is, we're gonna help them and advise them. But then we have customers that have been with us a really long time, and they're all about the people in the branch. And we still wanna meet them where they are. So sometimes digital and that journey isn't necessarily to say, hey, let me show you, or we want you to bank a different way. It's helping them become comfortable and trusting us in that journey, and then our customers trusting them in that journey. So it's, I mean, you'll probably hear me say this multiple times, but it's really about giving the customer choices, meeting them where they are, and then building the confidence with our team members. They talked about it earlier, so that they don't feel that it's like a competition, that it is complementary, it's a tool, it's a resource, and really aligning all of that so the customer wins, our team wins, and then when they're winning, the bank is winning.
It's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. It reminds me, you know, going out visiting branches is part of our role as a partner in design and technology and the people and processes, just really understanding current state for institutions, where they're at today, and then more importantly, where they want to go into the future. And so part of that is these branch visits. I remember not necessarily at Synovus, but talking with an employee and just talking about their challenges and things that they wanted to do, and ideas that they had, and they said, you know, we need extended hours. We need to be open on Saturdays, and so I was listening, and I, you know, pulled out my phone. I said, do you realize that you're open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day? So how do we help our customers and clients understand that? And so I think it is through that communication channel with your team members, so that they know we're in this together. This is not a me versus them. So I appreciate it.
And that was something we uncovered shortly after COVID, was that a good majority of our branch team members were not proficient with our mobile app. They didn't have a need to use any of our digital services because they come into a branch every day. So like step one for us was really building the proficiency around our team members, building their confidence, because our customers trust our team members when they're coming into the branch. And so if their confidence is built up, they're gonna share that with the customer.
Fantastic. So as we've heard and as we know, customer expectations are changing. Their interactions with other retailers is changing, and so they expect the way that they engage with their bank to be different as well. How has Synovus been going through that path and figuring that out, and what have you rolled out?
Again, it's about choice. We don't want to tell a customer how they should engage with us. We want to have the tools and resources, and we also want team members who are highly educated and can be advisors regardless of where they're positioned in a branch. We want to position Synovus that we can have that high touch meets that high tech, and letting the customers make their choices and how they engage. And it's also bridging some of that like digital gap, that if they start a journey online and come into the branch, is the customer starting anew, or are we continuing that conversation? And then what happens when a customer does start their entire relationship online? Where does the branch play in that? And that's the pieces that we're putting together to create, I hate the word omni-channel, but to create a fluidity in how they engage with us.
All right, fantastic. You actually just led me into my next question, talking about high touch meets high tech, and how do you navigate you know, those choices that you have for engaging. I know you're giving your customers choice, but how does Synovus view this high touch versus high tech and still remain that, you know, community focused?
So we don't have the same budget as like Chase and some of the others that are renovating all their branches. But we thought, well, what can we put in our branches that will show the customer that there is a connection between what they're doing either online or mobile and in the branch, and that's adding those digital elements. So whether it's a digital engagement board or digital marketing or an iPad or a tablet, connecting that experience so it doesn't feel so traditional, and that our team members have this confidence of being able to show these demos and a QR code and how to make a mobile deposit, but still giving them that in-branch experience. So it's not this like futuristic, you know, that weird picture we saw earlier today. It's still the branch they're comfortable with key elements that are bridging that gap between what they're doing on their device or at home and what's happening in the branch.
Okay, excellent, thank you. And then I'm gonna flip that, you know, looking at, you know, branch associates, how are you enabling them with technology to meet the needs of the customer? So obviously, you know, showcasing your digital mobile, but what in-branch technologies are you deploying and looking at to help your team members as they service customers?
Yeah, it's funny because we did this branch transformation journey 5 or so years ago, and we designed these branches, the new branches, to be universal and to have all these elements. But as a company, we weren't there strategically. So IT wasn't bought in, security wasn't bought in, and so it ended up just being this open floor plan without any of the tools or resources. Well, we're all bought in now, so everybody has a seat at the table, and we're introducing, like, all of our branches have tablets. And the first thing we're doing on the tablets is not opening accounts. We're playing games like tic-tac-toe and Connect 4 with our customers. And it's creating that trusting environment that they can engage with us with these digital tools in the branch while they're coming in for advice and other things. Then we have Deb, our digital engagement board, that, you know, is like a huge screen TV, but it's touch and it's interactive, and they can see things live and large and interact in a way that they haven't before in a branch. And we put these in branches that are very traditional with an older clientele, and they're super successful because we're not trying to force them into banking differently. We're trying to build trust between these two channels so that they can make better choices and make their own choice on how they engage with us.
Okay, fantastic. I think one of the things to just maybe clue in on is you talked about your DEBs or your digital engagement boards and the interaction that you're having even with you know, your senior customers. And what went into that? It wasn't just a, hey, we're going to build it and they will come mentality. Mm-hmm. What did Synovus do to make sure that team members were engaged and be able to create that discussion and that mobilization with your customers?
Yeah, I mean, it started probably in the conceptual phase of having the right people at the table, including branch team members, creating a journey mapping, bringing them in for in-person training. I know everything is so virtual right now, but we wanted to bring them in and show and tell and have them experience it. And actually, y'all partnered with us because this is a very new journey for us. And so it was really important to have the right partner helping us along the way who have either done this before with another financial institution or just has some expertise that maybe we don't because we are doing this for the first time. And so it really was about a collaborative, in-person, real experience to show them how it should work and not just kind of, well, here you go, do it.
Yeah, here it is.
Here it is.
Try it out. Wonderful. So as you know, at DBSI, we do a lot of research. There's a lot of research that's been shared today, but we also do a lot of our internal research because we focus 99% of our efforts on the financial institution channel. We live and breathe branch transformation, so we have a lot of surveys and reports and surveys that we do. And so I just wanted to throw up 3 statistics that came up from what we call inside the boardroom report. So we went in and talked with executives at financial institutions at the end of 2023 about their 2024 plans and goals. And so just a few nuggets from that. 65% of institutions were focusing on their digital banking experience, enhancing that, trying to bring that up to speed. And then another 58% were focusing on targeting and expanding into new markets. So it talks to the importance of the branch, Yes, the role of the branch is changing, as we've heard over and over today, but how to do that. And then people looking to add more staff, either to replace or that in their institutions. So this is a report that's available to all, and we'll share a little QR code with you at the end of the session that you can download that. So now I wanted to just talk about kind of that strategic partnership and kind of the evolution of that. Constantly, people are asking me, both from financial institutions as well as, how do we find those strategic partnerships that are going to help us navigate these things if A, we haven't been through this before, and we need some guidance, we need some expertise. And so I just thought it would be beneficial to the audience just to talk about kind of our relationship and how it started. I mean, did we start off as full-blown strategic partner? No.
No.
No, we didn't. So maybe we just kind of go through a little play-by-play on how that came to be, and then some of the things that have transpired over the course of that relationship to get to where we are today with that. So do you want to start from the customer perspective, or do you want me to start from the strategic partner perspective?
I'll start.
Okay.
It started with a digital RFP. Brian McAvoy, somewhere in this audience. It was actually his RFP process when he was with Synovus. And we had a current digital vendor. We were expanding because we had just acquired FCB, and they had digital players, and so we needed a more comprehensive digital vendor. So we were looking for a specific vendor for a specific product. DBSI won that RFP, and then in kind of our discovery phase of onboarding and launching, it was very apparent very quickly that DBSI was more than just a digital vendor. And so, like, Mike and I immediately built great rapport, and as I'm going in there and digging in on where we are today and where we want to go and where are the gaps and how do we change, Mike just offered me advice. So it's funny, we talk about like what our customers want, right? And they go into our branch and they want advice. Well, here I'm the customer and I'm talking to, you know, the business I'm doing business with, and he's offering me advice. Not like a chargeable fee, just honest advice from their perspective and the knowledge that you all had to share. And that kind of launched the strategic partnership we have today, and now it's digital and design and training and people and process and all of these things, really exciting things that are happening in the branch. But it started with just building good rapport with a partner that was more than just one thing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That was very nice. But yes, so from our side, you know, having the opportunity to work with Synovus, obviously get a foot in the door with the digital program, and then being able to go and look at branches. I remember specifically you calling saying, hey, you know, we're having these challenges in these locations. You know, we don't really know what to do because we're pulling all these levers and things aren't materializing. So can you just go and be a fly on the wall?
He happens to be based in Atlanta, and we're a Georgia-based company. And so it was very convenient that you were.
Yeah, so just going in and visiting locations and then understanding, just seeing what was transpiring versus what the executive team wanted, what the branch was trying to deliver to their customers. And every now and then there's just little disconnects on certain things. And so that's where the advice and the discussion goes, that we can brainstorm with each other, and it's not a sales pitch. It's not a, oh my gosh, you know, you need to do this because I have a quota to fill. It's really, how do we make Synovus successful? If we can help our partners be successful, that ensures our success. We don't have to worry about quotas and things like that. And so it's really focused on that. And so we've appreciated that partnership. I think one of the things that was valuable, just a little background for the audience, at DBSI, because we are innovators in the financial space, we have created an ideation center where financial executives can come. We call it the Banker's Playground, but really be able to experience different concepts, different technologies, how those play together, and then obviously fold in the people and process side of that to talk about true transformation. And so I know you had not just your retail team come, but you had all of your internal business partners come for a multi-day strategy session.
IT, marketing, product. We wanted all our key stakeholders that help make retail successful. I think one of our lessons learned is maybe the last time we tried doing this, we didn't have those other players on board. I mean, they understood what we were trying to do, but they weren't bought in. And so this time around, we're like, they have to be there. They have to be excited. They have to see it and experience it and know it. And they'll see and feel our vision and help it come to fruition. And honestly, I would say that was like the catalyst point. Like that was our changing moment where things kind of ramped up after that.
Yep.
In the Synovus way. When I ramp up, still takes a long time.
Absolutely, absolutely. So there's a lot of decision making that goes into branch transformation and its initiatives. There are opportunities to change course or to make mindful decisions as you go through this process, because it doesn't happen overnight. So things, outside factors are going to play a role. So how do you and how does Synovus really look at conditions and make mindful decisions on, do we stay the course? Do we need to adjust? What types of things go through your mind when you're thinking about that?
Yeah, I think one of the things that we're doing this time around is almost like a test and learn environment. So instead of saying, okay, we're going to create our entire kit of parts based on this one branch design, and then that's going to be our go forward model. We're actually planning on doing 5 of those in completely different markets so that we can understand, here are the key elements that we definitely want in every single branch. But then based on go-to-market and what the purpose of that branch is, making assessments and changes and learnings and understandings and working with our partners. I know my facilities partner is here, she's on the design team, and we don't do anything without them. And I think it's really, really important that you're constantly assessing and being comfortable enough to say, this might not work, we need to shift, and that's okay.
One of the other things that I just thought of is talking about technology. You have a universal model, but again, some of the challenges there were access to cash. How do we perform transactions when we're in offices and things like that? And so through again, advice and guidance, just talking about how do we truly make universal stations, which gives you that flexibility to look at these different markets and look at different elements that you can deploy and still solve and serve your customer base.
So Synovus had invested in TCRs, but they weren't accessible to everybody. You basically had 2 people log in, and that was it. And through the partnership with DBSI, we were introduced to software that is pretty simple and seamless, that allows everyone in the branch, regardless of where they're sitting, to access that tool. And that really helps enable a more fluid customer experience. I think about a customer who comes in and they're sitting with you and having a great conversation, and then they want to fund an account, or they have another transaction they want to do, and you got to send them over to the other side and wait in a line or whatnot. We wanted to truly enable our team members to own that whole customer experience, and you got to have the right tools and resources to do it. So we had the right idea and the desire, but for a long time we didn't have the tools that we needed and didn't even realize we're out there.
Okay, fabulous. And then I always love to ask in my interviews and things of that nature, is there anything that you want to share that maybe I wasn't smart enough to think of about your transformation journey, about what Synovus is working on, any best practices or tips for those who are looking to either start their journey or as they're in the middle of their journey that they should be aware of?
Yeah, one, find a good strategic partner, because you don't know what you don't know. We are a bank in the Southeast. We all come with varying levels of experience, but there's so much happening in the industry, and banks really only share what they want the world to know, and everything is glossy and perfected when it gets to the media. So it's really about having a good strategic partner who has a pulse of the industry and what's happening and can give you good, solid advice because they have your well-being in mind. And then one thing that you said is it's a journey. Like, this isn't a 5-year plan, or it's truly a journey that we know is going to evolve consistently, because I don't think that the customer journey is done evolving. I think we're gonna see this Amazon effect for quite some time. You just have to be like nimble enough and have the right tools and resources to be able to adapt as the customers continue to adapt. And I don't know about you all, like, our customers are still engaging with us, but the teller transaction is deeply declining, but they're still coming into the branch. And they're coming into the branch because they want to have meaningful conversations with our team members. And so part of this journey is not just investing in the technology, it's investing in our team and ensuring that we're upskilling them and giving them the tools, the resources, the training, so that they can evolve with the customer. And that's been really important because it has settled their nerves, it has built their confidence, because when they see the data, they worry that, does that mean I'm no longer gonna have a job? But us investing in them is giving them that level of confidence that they need to continue to advise the customers and not shy away from having those conversations that might be outside the branch.
Fantastic. Well, thank you. I really appreciate your time today. Carla has graciously agreed to connect after the session. Go ahead. I know you've been wanting to take my picture all day, but go ahead and pull your phones out to capture that QR code. And we would love to connect with you. You can download the report. But we just appreciate this experience, you sharing your experiences, and then we appreciate your attendance here today, and we look forward to connecting after the session.
Great. Let's hear it for Carla and Mike.